Good evening, bonsoir. Bienvenue à la séance ordinaire publique le 19 janvier. Welcome to the regular public meeting on January 19th. Please rise for the national anthem. On va aussi faire la reconnaissance territoriale. Nous reconnaissons avec respect l'emplacement de la ville de Bathurst en tant que terre ancestrale du peuple Micmac. Aujourd'hui, ces terres sont hôtes d'une population diverse, comprenant personnes natives du territoire et autres patries. Nous reconnaissons aussi avec le respect l'histoire et les diverses cultures du peuple Micmac de la région. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Bathurst as the ancestral homeland of the Micmac. Today, these lands are home to a diverse population of indigenous and other peoples. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Micmac in this region. Bon. On va aller à l'approbation de l'ordre du jour. Adoption of the agenda. Ms. Parker.
That the agenda be approved as presented.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Scarry, seconded by Councillor Legacy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carried. I'm losing my voice. I talk so much today with all the flex go in media that now it's going. You're going to have to bear with me. Ms. Parker, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest?
Yes, we do. Deputy Mayor Knowles declared a conflict of interest with item 9.5, 2026 grants distribution for the Bathurst Festival Commission.
Okay, perfect. And then we'll go to the adoption of the minutes, dont l'approbation du procès verbal, séance ordinaire publique tenue le 15 décembre 2025, regular public meeting held on December 15, 2025. Ms. Parker.
That the minutes of the regular public meeting dated December 15th, 2025 be approved as circulated.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Burnett, seconded by Councillor Willett. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. On a quelques présentations du public ce soir. We have a few public presentations, but we have one special invitation this evening, which I'm really happy. Je vais le lire en anglais et en français. I'm going to read the story in English and in French. Stéphane is an outgoing athlete and leader with the Special Olympics Bathurst-Chaleur region. A medalist at the 2025 Summer Games in bocce, Stéphane Haché truly embodies the spirit of value of Special Olympics. He is a dedicated athlete in bocce, curling, bowling. Stéphane approaches every practice and competition with enthusiasm and a strong desire to learn and grow. His impressive record includes 33 medals, but what truly sets him apart goes far beyond the podium. Stéphane is a natural leader who inspires those around him through kindness, sportsmanship, and humility. He makes a point of welcoming new athletes, offering a handshake, a smile, and words of encouragement that help them feel part of the team from day one. His supportive and non-judgmental nature makes him a role model for the entire Special Olympics community, from athletes of all abilities to coaches and volunteers. With his calm confidence and natural coaching abilities, Stéphane demonstrates respect for fellow athletes, referees, coaches, and peers alike. He represents the heart of the Special Olympic movement, leading by example, lifting others up, and showing that true victory lies in courage, inclusion, and friendship he makes along the way. Stéphane est un athlète extraverti et un leader au sein de la région Chaleur des Olympiques spéciaux. Médaille aux Jeux d'été 2025, je ne sais pas comment dit boccia en français. Ça dit boccia? Aucune idée. Moi, je ne vais pas massacrer le nom. Stéphane Haché incarne véritablement l'esprit et les valeurs des Olympiques spéciaux. Athlète dévoué en bocce, en curling et en quilles. Stéphane aborde chaque entraînement et chaque compétition avec enthousiasme et un fort désir d'apprendre et de progresser. Son impressionnant parcours comprend 33 médailles, mais ce qui le distingue réellement va bien au-delà du podium. Stéphane est un leader naturel qui inspire son entourage par sa gentillesse, son esprit sportif et son humilité. Il prend soin d'accueillir les nouveaux athlètes en leur offrant une poignée de main, un sourire et des mots d'encouragement qui aident à se sentir membres de l'équipe dès le premier jour qu'ils arrivent. Sa nature bienveillante et sans jugement fait de lui un modèle pour toute notre communauté des Olympiques spéciaux, des athlètes de toute capacité, aux entraîneurs et aux bénévoles. Grâce à son calme, à sa confiance et à ses aptitudes naturelles pour l'encadrement, Stéphane fait preuve de respect envers les coéquipiers, les officiels, les entraîneurs et ses pairs. Il représente le cœur du mouvement des Olympiques spéciaux. En montrant l'exemple, en soutenant les autres et en démontrant que la véritable victoire réside dans le courage, l'inclusion et les amitiés qu'il tisse tout au long de son parcours. J'aimerais inviter Stéphane de venir en avant. Nous avons quelques petites choses pour vous. Félicitations. Ça, c'est pour vous. On vous a préparé un certificat dont vous pourriez l'avoir. Et on a un beau petit coureux ici. La boîte à lunch, quand ils vont partir, là, quand ils vont y aller, ça va tout garder au froid. Bon, félicitations. Veux-tu prendre une photo? J'inviterais. The council want to come as well? Yeah, we're all going to go. All right.
The leading party work. Okay. They're all practicing for good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Start it off here. Move. You're good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here you go. This is yours.
Yeah, I thought about it, but
Yeah. But yeah. I also wanted to say a special thank you to the volunteers. You know, these events, and when they go to the provincial and national competitions, all this happens with volunteers. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for making a difference in these people's lives. Félicitations encore une fois. Bravo. Continue le beau travail et continue à être l'exemple. Parce que, quand on a des nouveaux qui arrivent, comme que vous dites, à l'équipe, de se joindre avec le groupe, ils sont gênés, ils connaissent personne, et de voir et de savoir que vous êtes là pour les accueillir et leur faire sentir confortables. Bravo, beau travail. OK. La prochaine présentation, c'est l'expansion de la zone d'amélioration des affaires par Paul Thériault. So, Business Improvement Area Expansion. Bonjour, Monsieur Thériault.
Bonsoir, Madame la mairesse.
Ça va bien?
Ça va très bien, merci. Ça se peut, je manque d'oxygène, je sors du pickleball, fait j'ai presque plus de salive. Je l'ai tout tué.
Veux-tu des tic-tac?
Non, c'est bon. J'ai besoin de l'eau. Thank you. Merci, Madame la mairesse, City Council. Thank you for allowing us to present here tonight. Dear Mayor and Council, this is to inform Council that the Board of Directors of the Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation, the DBRC, also operating as Downtown Bathurst Centre-Ville, approved a motion back in May 2025 to begin the process of expanding our boundaries of the business improvement area, known as the Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation Zone, pursuant to paragraph 2, 1 to 10, bylaw designating business improvement area under the Business Improvement Area Act. The Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation is a nonprofit business organization dedicated to sustaining and encouraging growth and development in the city's downtown business district. The Business Improvement Area concept provides the framework for a collaborative approach to downtown revitalization by encouraging businesses and property owners to work together to manage their downtown as a valuable resource and a viable business destination. Downtowns are the purest form of economic development and have access to nonprofit funds that municipalities do not have access to. Thus, an extremely valuable financial leverage tool and a partner for the City of Bathurst. Within the guidance of the City of Bathurst Municipal Plan, the Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation proposed a change in the boundary to better encompass the true downtown core of Bathurst. So the DBRC presently operates, if you look at the map, presently operates within defined geographical boundaries, presently on the northern side, which is Harborview Boulevard, to the southern side, which is St. Andrew Street, and from east to west, from Douglas Avenue to Murray Avenue, and everywhere in between. It's kind of a square. However, it has become clear that these boundaries are no longer fully encompass the entire commercial core of downtown Bathurst. Many businesses currently outside these limits actively contribute to the vitality of the area, but do not benefit from the programs and services offered by the DBRC. So in response, the DBRC has initiated and completed a formal, direct, and public consultation process in expanding its boundaries to include additional commercial properties, expanding the existing BIA, the Business Improvement Area, going south from St. Andrew, moving it to St. John Street, continuing south down Murray, and all the way to the northern side of Bridge Street, stopping at the west end start of the bridge. We do not cross the bridge. We're not crossing the bridge. Plus including the PID number 208-27077, which is formerly the old mill site on the southern side, on the southern side of Bridge Street. The proposed new boundaries are shown in the attached map. If you look at map number 2, the green outline shows the new portion that we want to add to the existing BIA. So if you look at map number 3, that would include the whole new BIA proposed zone for downtown Bathurst. So as the executive director of Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation, and as per the official petition letter sent through the city's clerk office and signed by our president, Sylvain Lagacé, we respectfully invite Bathurst City Council to consider this petition to expand the boundaries of the Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation business improvement area by passing a motion to this effect. Thank you.
Right. I agree 100%. I think that the downtown needs to, be of a larger, especially with everything that's happening at this time. So we'll go to questions. Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So, through you?
Yes.
Okay. The map that we're looking at on our screen here, the green goes right over to the mill site?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah,
good.
we would go all the way through the mill site, make its way.
And after the announcements we've had on the mill site, with getting the infrastructure in place, things could fall in for downtown to have a lot more development with that site being made available for development.
Exactly, and this is
Good
what I was
planning,
thinking
yeah,
exact
good
same way. We
planning.
could expand. So I think now is the time. And you've not had any complications or anything when
Zero.
you went out? Zero, see?
Yeah, we've had
So-
three public meetings. We've had people show up, and everybody that showed up said they were in favor. They didn't understand what a BIA was and why they were going to pay a little extra tax. And when we told them the amount that wasn't that large an amount, they were behind the project. And everybody had a chance to vocalize if they were in for it or against it. We needed 2/3 positive votes. We had zero. Nobody showed up to say, no, we don't want it. So everybody was advised, 3 mail-outs, everybody got it at least 3 times, and we're happy to say that it went through.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Thériault? Because we will go to the resolution a bit later today.
If I could just add, this has been on a wish list for the DBRC for the last 10 years. And we finally got it done. The board was behind it, and downtown New Brunswick were instrumental in helping us follow the right guidelines, the rules, and how to do it so we don't miss any steps. And the next steps were provided to city clerk, and from there, I think the next step is for a motion, and then it goes to the province for approval. And if everything goes through the province before June, I can't remember the date, June 25th, I believe, the new levies will come into effect in 2027. So it's a little ways away, but it's there.
Everything has always been a little ways away, and look at where we're going now.
Everything's getting closer.
Right? We just, one step at a time, we keep getting closer. Do we have, Councillor Burnett again?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. By increasing the size of the area, will you be able to get more monies from the province through the Downtown Association because you're going to be bigger?
Yes, the way that it works is when, in a BIA, a business improvement area, non-residential buildings pay a secondary tax. It's called a BIA levy. And that it's a lot smaller than the provincial tax or municipal tax, but it all adds up. And adding this new section, it would give downtown Bathurst $19,000 more year one. Okay. But the possibility of the future, because the mill site has nothing on it, if that builds and it's commercial, that'll be extra revenue for downtown Bathurst. What we can do with that money is we can leverage that to the province, because we can go get, downtown New Brunswick has funds. They have $500,000 that they have every year. We're very limited in going to get those funds because we need 25% of our project. So if I have $25,000, I can go get $100,000. And I think down the road, that's going to be the big thing for beautification, for more events, bigger events maybe, more beautification. Down the road, that's the plan.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other question? No. Merci, Monsieur Thériault. On va à la résolution après. Je peux pas voir qu'on va avoir des problèmes.
Merci.
OK, merci.
Thank you.
All right. So our next presentation is a follow-up from last week for Hospitality Days, donc Journée Hospitalité. Mr. Lennon, it seems like I've seen you like 3 times within a matter of a week and a half.
Is that good or bad?
It's all good.
Okay.
All good. All right.
Now, Amy Lynn told me that this is easy to get out of, but I'm technically challenged. I might have to ask Mr. Wilbur for help.
Oh, you're there.
Oh, no, look at this. Hey,
Look at
I'm
this.
impressed here. This one?
That's yours? Yep, that's one right there.
There you
Need
go.
help at all?
Look at that. Oof. And it's going on its own. So,
Yeah.
first of all, your worship, councillors, thank you very much for inviting us back and giving us an opportunity, a second kick at the can. We did notice after last week's meeting, when it came for the vote, there was a lot of questions that were asked, a lot of misinformation on our side that we'll clear up today. And we also felt that there was a bit of a negative vibe on hospitality days. So today I'm here to try to clear this up the best I can. And I know I'm still begging for money, but there'll be some few things that come out of here that might be working against us. But at the end of the day, it's important for us to clear the air, because when we look at some of the information that came out last week, is that and I've been over that video about 15 times to make sure that I didn't miss any, is that how much money did they start with? Where'd the money go? No activities planned for seniors and children. Only being a major party. Everything is organized outside the beer tent, is community driven, and no sense or money coming from hospitality days. Individuals paying out of their pocket. Block parties being paid by DBRC and not hospitality days. Warnings being given to the committee that the sport will not continue. Money is taxpayers' money that's being spent. Past committees saying that the request was not a permanent thing. Other years that the Hospitality Days Committee made things work with nothing. Donations given out to look good. Let's not forget the sign. It kind of ties into what you're talking about, but we won't go there. But that sign that was put up as a potential opportunity that was there for an amphitheater, but we keep being reminded that the city has nothing to do with it and that it's not your land. Fine. In kind, one part, and donations. And I want to clear that up too, because there's two different definitions there. The size of the bands and going to 2 nights and why that's happening. And we don't know what's going on this year because there's no schedule. So I'm going to go not all through them, but as I answer this, you'll get the answers. And if I miss anything at the end, please follow up and let me know. And we have a few people here today that if I don't have the answer, they do. So we did deliver a message in September of 2025. And one of the things that I recognized after last week's meeting and listening to it a number of times was that we didn't really do a good job at presenting it. We didn't do a good job at delivering the message because a lot of the information was totally incorrect and a lot of the information was already programmed into the presentation that we gave. So I really want to thank you for allowing us to come back. I want to thank you, Councillor Anderson, for starting off the show last week, because that's what I really thought it was. But we're back here and talking about the request, okay, for $50,000. Okay, not all the other amounts that were suggested last week, but we're pitching it again at the $50,000. You all have a copy of the financial report in front of you. This is also done by volunteer, and I didn't even get a chance to read over it very quickly. Got it this afternoon about 3 o'clock, got it printed, it's sitting on your desk, okay? The other thing too is that we got a slide going on there that's rotating, and I kind of got the feeling last week that people weren't thinking that there was anything organized for seniors and children, so if you watch it, it's only pictures of people that are there. So I want to start with the first comment that was made, that the bank account when that was left by the committee in 2024 was $181,000. I want to make it clear, and it was also mentioned in September, we started off in the bank account with a total amount of $19,385.65. Not 181,000. 19,385.65. Okay? Just want to make sure that people understand that number. Because of 181,000, I wouldn't be here begging for cash. Okay, we had enough to do it and enough to fund a whole pile of stuff. Comments were made that everything outside the beer tent was community-driven and not a cent came from hospitality days. Well, first thing I want to make correction on, there hasn't been a beer tent for 4 years. There's been tents, 2 of them at Vickers Field, and I'm sure that could be confusing. One of them's used for sound, the other one was used to sell beer out of. So could be considered as a beer tent, but it definitely isn't the same size as what we used to have before. This is a completely new festival. It's an outdoor event. So that needs to be taken into consideration. Now, second thing, yes, all the activities outside of Vickers Field were organized by the community, but isn't that what we want as hospitality days? We want everybody to be engaged, everybody to be part of this, and everybody to be involved. And people are calling us up to be part of what's going on. So that's what we want. And at the same time, what it does is that for the volunteers, because there's only 6 of us in the committee, it just spreads the load, and other people get a chance to do things. And it's all about the betterment of the city in the first place. Now, as for paying out of our pocket, not sure where that information came from, but Councillor Anderson, you were the first one to mention it, that you paid money out of your pocket. But I got that confirmed today, is that out of pocket, to me, my definition is out of pocket, never see it again. You got paid back, because there was a check signed to you that give it back to you. So did everybody else. Pardon me? Yes, exactly. Yeah. But again, at the end of the day, last week, it was kind of left on there that was money out of your pocket. Thermalwood Canada has $61,000 out of their pocket right now, which I consider really out of the pocket. But we're going to get it back eventually out of the game. But there are other things that we paid for out of our pocket that will never come back. But that's fine. We support. We want to be able to support. So just to say what we pay for, that last week we're kind of left in limbo, and I want to clear it up for everybody who watches it, because the other thing too is that there's over 9,000 people that viewed that last week, and there's 9,000 people that are leaving with some false information, and that's why I'm here today talking about these particular things, because I want to clear it up, because that has an impact on everything else that we do. So seniors party that happens at a kickoff, that happens at the curling club, it's $4,388.77 that's paid by hospitality days. We subsidize the meal, we pay for the music, and oh yes, we gave a donation to the curling club. But just to clear it up, Mr. Scary, donation that was given to the curling club was basically to pay for the rent of the building. That wasn't included in the beginning, and we are able to pay them. We forgot to do it last year. We paid it to them. The fact that we gave it as a donation does 2 things. It advertises that the curling club is in trouble, they need money, and if people are giving donation to them, it gives a message to everybody else that they're willing to accept donations. And the other one, yeah, it's a little bit of advertising for hospitality days to tell people that we're there and we got stuff going on. So just want to clear up that we're not giving away money to give away money. We give it because there's a reason, and in this case, it was paying for the rental of the business. Same thing with the post office. We gave them money, and that was to pay. We had the students in there for 6-8 weeks, I think, about that. More than that? Okay. So we had to pay for rent a little bit and help them out. They need whatever money that they can. So that's where that went. There was a shuffleboard competition organized by the Legion. We paid for all the gifts that they had. A lot of gifts were donated. We cover on top of that. And there was some entertainment, and I'm not really sure whether or not we paid for that or not, but I knew that they had asked us to do that. The other thing too, and if I may go back to Coronation Park exercise that was there, is that we might not have given any money, but if we would have been asked, we would have. But what we did end up doing is that all the bouncy castles that were there, they called us. And they told us that they had all these bouncy castles that they want to organize in an event. I called up Scott Ferguson, and I said, listen, you guys are thinking about doing something if you want, I know you're doing it for Coronation Park, but if you want to try to organize it during the hospitality days, there's somebody who has all these bouncy castles, let's bring them there. And they volunteered them, but they called us first, so we kind of made that connection. The other thing too is that talking to Scott today, he wants to organize it again during hospitality days next year. So we have a good connection there. Touch the Truck. That was done up at the Casey Irving. We didn't get a fire truck because there was 2 of them broken down or something, but otherwise we did try. And but that was a good event, and the Rotary Club came there, and we supplied the food, the hot dogs and the pop and everything else, and the kids had a chance to sit on Adam and Kenny's snowblower, and Adam almost had them out there working for him, but we kind of, you're not allowed to do it. The cops were there to make sure that he wouldn't do that, so that was good. And then, you know, rest assured that out of pocket, we definitely understand what that is. One of your councillor, Dale Knowles, has spent thousands of dollars up front to pay for advertising. Chico has paid tens of thousands of dollars for the liquor coming out of the Liquor Commission. And I mentioned numbers of $61,000 coming out of Thermowood Canada. Now, that does not include salaries because we've had employees on there. Doesn't include material we've used. We had a forklift there the whole time. All those things are not counted for. They're just part of who we are. And without, you know, if you're going to be a volunteer, sometimes there's some costs available. But we had activities for all ages. Tea party that was done over at the Heritage, well, I keep calling it the library, but it's something else.
Heritage Museum.
It's museum, exactly. Still looks like the library. Tea party there. The horse pull that George organized, and he had people come. It was all Atlantic provinces, I believe, and we paid for all the registration fees and money that was given there. The car show that's done, we don't do anything, but we supplied our porta potty, so I guess that's somewhere along the line is an important part of the whole deal. Without them, kind of a shitty day. The talent show, and I'd like Councillor Hondas to help me out on this one because Pauline Armstrong had reached out to them to ask for money. She was looking for money to be able to pull this thing off. Councillor Hondas contacted me and said, listen, we've already given to you guys. No, that's okay. That's perfect. That's exactly what we do. People need stuff. We want to help them out. So we reached out to Pauline and we gave her the amount, I think it was over $1,000 that she was looking for that we gave her. Whoops, sorry. 3D printing, there was an activity for kids, the seniors event at the Current Club, dog show, we gave you, and I guess Miss Parker was involved in that. There was a bunch of gifts that were donated to that. Golf tournament, sand castle competition down the beach, yoga beach, scavenger hunt organized, and that was organized by the students. This year, we were very fortunate to have 6 students working for us this summer. They got great skills of organizing stuff. And we let them organize things. And with supervision, they'd check it out with us on things that they were doing, but the scavenger hunt, that was all theirs. And it was great. And even the group that won it, they weren't even from Bathurst. They were here on holidays visiting family. And so it was great that they had an opportunity to do that, and the gifts and everything else were there. And these were all sold out events. The tea party was sold out. The scavenger hunt was sold out. The layers was sold out, and so those are all things that add to what's going on. Now, I want to talk about in-kind and donations because that came up a number of times in your meeting on Monday, where it kept coming up. I said, well, there's donation required of $50,000, and then there was in-kind of $18,000. Well, here's my definition. We can argue this till the cows go home afterwards if you want to. We won't do it online. I'm just going to give you my definition. You can live with it. My definition of something that's in kind, and especially this when it comes from the city, this is coming from the relationship that we built with the city employees. It's relationships that we built over years between the committee and people we've known for years and years and years that volunteer, yeah, on city time, and I know it costs the city money, but it's not council that are going out to force them to do this work. It's the relationship. They could tell us to go fly a kite, but they don't. Some of the employees have come to us and they've given us their personal cell phone numbers. So if something broke down in the middle of the night during the concert and they needed the wiring to be done, they'd come, just call us. We'll be there for you. So this is built on the relationships we have built, and not because they were forced to do it. So that's why I want to make sure it's separate. Now, the donation part, which is what we're talking about, it was mentioned last week, again, that this was taxpayers' money. It's not taxpayers' money. It's a levy that comes from a tax that's put on to the hotels, and I'm not sure, but I think tourism operators are involved in that too. Are they?
The hotel levy for all in Bathurst. So last year we got $240,000 in tourism levy.
Yeah.
That we gave back for hospitality days, the Corvette show, the curling club national. So we give anything that's related to tourism is given in donation. But you're correct. It's not taxpayers' dollars.
Thank you very much. And that's 3% of whatever is collected. And some of you were in a meeting with tourism last week, and they mentioned that, I had the number here, I think it's $73 million that's left in the region, not just in accommodations, but on the accommodations and the tourism side is $12.9 million that's left in the area, and that's where the money comes from. Because the minute that you mention taxpayers' money, I totally agree with you, Councillor LeBlanc. People start asking questions on where does our money go and why is it going there. But that's why I want to make sure it's cleared up that this is not taxpayers' money. It's other people's taxes. You know, they're coming in from all over. They're staying in the hotels. They're doing stuff. So that's important to be there. So the other thing too is that when it comes back, is that we're requesting a $50,000 donation, but a lot of that money comes back to you. Money comes back to you because, and we got this information from Mr. Wilbur today, and I'm not sure it's correct because I've had a hard time reading that report a number of times. It's not the clearest report that's out there, but it showed that out of the money that we sell on tickets, $11,823 comes back to the city. Now, part of that, yes, you have to pay for the service provider, but if it wasn't going through this, you'd have to pay it from someplace else. So, and then the other part is that there's a percentage of that becomes part of the commission, if I'm correct, that goes back to the city. And so that's there. The other thing too is that we have the minor hockey that volunteers to work at the tent, selling the beer, and they get all the tips. I'm not sure what else they get, but we paid them, we wrote them a check for $10,000. That $10,000 gets paid to the Civic Center because it's fees that they have to pay, and that's where it goes. So indirectly, that money comes back to you. So we're money laundering for you in a way, because you wouldn't be able to touch it if it was left in that account, and now all of a sudden we put it back in another way for you to get it back. Then think about all the advertising that's done, that we pay for. Last year we advertised in CSIU TV, that was all through the Gaspé Peninsula, and when you look at the tourism reports, that's one of the areas that you're targeting and that you want to go get. The radio stations, all that stuff, then word of mouth, then Facebook, and so on and so forth. All that information is out there, and helps. We have Family Swim. We pay for rent, so there's money there. And then the rest of it, like I said, comes out of that money from tourism. So at the end of the day, you really got to think about how the math is and understand where the money's coming from. And without events like hospitality days, that money would drop. And it looks like they're trying to increase that as we go through. So I just want to make sure that that was clear. Then, you know, just some amounts that I threw down here. The seniors event curling club, I already said it was $4,383.77. I keep doing that. I should stand over here. Layers, $600 in gifts. The horse pull was $4,800. The scavenger hunt was $1,000. The talent show is $1,000. And then we have prizes for the dog show, the castle building, the shuffleboard game, the seniors event, tea party, golf tournament. That was all gifts that came from there. 4-H club. They're always trying to raise money. We bought all the food for them that they wanted at the horse pull. They sold it, raised money for themselves. Candace Ostrowski did a day when she was teaching people how to paint. We paid for all the paint supplies and everything else that was there. So I agree that the major cost of this whole hospitality days has got to do with the bands and everything else that we bring. That I totally agree to. But without that, we wouldn't be able to raise money to do all the rest of the stuff that's being done. And so just that alone, one of the key things that it's worthwhile mentioning is that because it got brought up a number of times by a number of people in this group last Monday, was that, you used to do it with nothing. There was nothing there before. But just for bands and stuff, and we have two of the people that were involved in the committee before, Ricky and Mike, is that, did it ever cost you guys $360,000 just for bands and everything around that? This is a completely new game, so we got to forget the past. We've taken this to a completely different level. When it got taken out of the beer tent that was downtown and it was moved to an outdoor site, all of a sudden the game changes. The site up at Vickers Field, I understand we're not going to get that for an eternity, and we don't want it for an eternity. That's why other places are being proposed, so somebody will tell us, well, maybe you can move there or whatever. Just giving hints and ideas. Whether it works, doesn't work, I don't care. Somebody's got to start somewhere. But that event at Vickers Field, it is also mixed bag. If you go there, there are children there that are going there to enjoy the music. There's seniors there because now they can sit down, and they couldn't do that before. There's a section that we allow people to come in wheelchairs and stuff to be able to do it that they couldn't necessarily do it before. So here's an opportunity for everybody. And as the mayor said last week when I interviewed her, this is where she gets to meet her family. And this year we had a cameraman that all they did was go around taking pictures of people, groups, friends together, hugging each other, kissing each other, laughing together. But this is all done because they have a place to get together, and that's what we're all about. So that's why it needs to continue. Sorry, I'm getting dry here. That's a good thing because I'm almost done. But everything, and when I say things have changed with the bands that are coming. You mentioned, Councillor LeBlanc last year, that it wasn't Bare Naked Ladies. And I understand Bare Naked Ladies brings a much larger group. But if you think about it, 2 Juno Awards bands that come in, we get 2 for the same price we did for Bare Naked Ladies. So, and that's what we did last year. We used a lot of local bands, and thank you very much, Councillor Burnett, for talking about how good the bands were last year, because they're all local, and there was some great talent there. And I'm sure that Councillor LeBlanc, when he went home last week and didn't say anything about how good his wife was up on stage, that he probably heard about it. So thank you very much for bringing that up. It was a good point. But bigger stage, and that stage is not cheap. And then last year, on top of it, some of you might remember that we're there. We had another small stage on Saturday night next to that cost us an arm and a leg to have there. Well, we didn't have a choice because the big bands that were there did not want anybody starting before them. So we couldn't have the Callans up on stage with them. We needed to put the Callans on another stage. And that was another schmozzle altogether. Because moving people and bouncing them around, taking them off the big stage, for musicians it's important. And unfortunately, we had to move them. The other thing too is that security. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed last year and the year before the amount of security that's there. Well, we do not have a choice because that's part of the deal that we have to make with these big bands. And the bigger you get, the more complicated that gets. And the more demands that they have, and the more cost that it's going to be all the way around. The fact that we're doing this, it allows high school reunions, and I think Mr. Hondas, you got one organized this year, and you organized it during the hospitality days because there's other events going on at the same time. So it gives people to do stuff and meet all their old friends that maybe they hung around with at other graduation times and they show up. People use it for, last year there's a group from Assumption Academy that decided hospitality days was a good time to advertise the fact that the school is, it's being torn down, or is it being used for something else? Torn down, I think, eh?
It's still status quo.
That's
for
still
now.
whatever.
It's
But
transferred
closed,
to DTI.
and she really wanted to show how, the school had progressed and who had gone there, and she used hospitality days as her springboard to be able to advertise it. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to make it there. I had other stuff going on, but hopefully that went well. Now, seems to be that going to 2 days from 3 seemed to be an issue last week. Well, first of all the bands that we've got, we have not got one person yet that said that we didn't make good choices. Having the country in on the Friday night and the bands that we've got on the Friday night, and having the Martin Boys here, so your daughter's happy, but the Martin Boys are a big success story in New Brunswick and focusing on a lot of New Brunswick talent, and we've done that again this year. There's one band from outside of the Maritimes, the rest of them are all from here, but they're all, they're Juno Award winners. So they've been through the ringer all the way through. And so the fact of not having the third day, what we're doing, and we haven't even got through the details yet on this because the details have been presented to everybody else. We want to go into it, but I alluded to it the other day with the mayor when I was in the interview. But you guys would be the first people to know outside. Councillor Legacy knows because he's probably seen the document. Oh, maybe your partner hasn't given it to you yet. But there's what's going on, and our plan is we're calling it the Riverwalk. So it'll include a much larger basin in the block party, because the block party has traditionally only been done at this end of St. Peter's Avenue, and it's been organized not by the DBRC, but by the bootlegger. DBRC donate, just like we did, because we donated over $1,500 to the block party. And so bootlegger does it, but now we want to incorporate the other breweries that are here, the distilleries that are there. So the plan is to start off the evening over at Four Rivers and have all kinds of activities going on an outdoor stage, have it for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then picture a brass band leading the people from there over the 13 Barrels. And then in between, you can have all kinds of other stuff going on. That'll grow. It has an opportunity and a potential to grow the downtown. I've got visions of, Billy White's Wharf being completed and a whole bunch of other stuff going on and having it all through downtown and not even bothering with Vickersfield anymore. Okay? And then there'll be all kinds of stuff that could happen. So they're going to move from Four Rivers to 13 Barrels, be there for another 2.5 hours, and they'll go finish off down in front of Bootleggers. And then have Bootleggers that doesn't change anything. Michael Petrovici was in a rush and pushing me to get the plan out and everything else because he wanted to get things going, wanted to know whether or not it was going to be different than it was before, because we had originally talked about having all of Main Street and what we could do there and showcase a lot of the local musicians and stuff. Because the other thing we need to consider is that this is going to be free. Okay? So we've got to collect enough money on the other side to pay for the stages, pay for some bands. Yeah, we'll work with the bars and we'll work with DBRC to do it, but there's money required to really develop that as a downtown opportunity. So that's where we're going with that and what the plan is. So we really believe that this $50,000 is not a donation, it's an investment. It's an investment of what the city can do, and it's an investment because a lot of the money comes back into to your coffers, and it's either by the money laundering position that I put you in a while ago, or it's because you're able to increase the levy. And we want to make this festival the largest homecoming festival in all of Atlantic Canada. If you listen to any of the advertising we do on the radio, on the newspapers, on on our social media. It's all about trying to do that and getting it out there. Last week, comment made was, work harder and raise more money. Councillor Willett. Well, sorry to say, but if you think that the questions and all your questions last week that you asked, that, well, where's the money going, what did this does, if you think that that helps in raising money, ain't the way the game works. Because now what's going to happen when we go, and that's why tonight was so important to us to set the record straight. It's because going out, when there's that kind of false information that's out there, going out there and trying to bang on doors to collect money, because we do that all locally, people are going to say, well, if the city's not supporting you, why should we? So it's important to get the right information and why we're here tonight. So once again, we're asking City Council to consider the $50,000. The other thing too, I don't want to be too pushy, but we got a whole pile of deposits to pay before the end of this month. So if the money comes in, because we don't have very much money now in the account, not enough to pay the rest of the deposits, we need to be able to secure those bands by paying the deposits. We're able to negotiate deals that it would only be in the interim, but we need the cash to be able to pay it, and that's basically where it goes. It's the upfront money that we need to be able to kickstart all of this thing. And I know I'm not allowed to ask for a motion to be put in place, but I'm going to ask anyways, and then somebody maybe want to take it on, is that in the future, so that expectations aren't set with committees like ours, what you should do is decide ahead of time that you're going to end up giving an X amount of dollars. Whether it's 10,000 or 15 or 20 or 35, whatever you decide now, and then set it for 4 or 5 years so that you don't have to put committees in the same situation that you put us in this week. Because the amount of time that we've wasted as a committee this week, putting this all together and writing these 18 pages up. I normally have a lot of other things that I need to do for our business, and I wasn't able to do it this week because I was working on this. And the other thing too is that if you look at your strategic plan that you've got, I picked this up the other day, and I'm glad I did, because it said, for the community, our goal is to be a vibrant and welcoming community that's proud of its roots, fostering tourism, or volunteerism, excuse me, has a strong art and cultural presence and supports community initiatives and special events. Keep that in mind when you decide whether or not you're going to give us the $50,000 or not. And I want to thank you very much for allowing me this time to come back and give another kick at the cat.
All right. I'll ask if you can stay. I'm sure
Yep.
we'll have some questions. So I just want to kind of, before we go to questions, as a reminder to everybody, this is an event for our citizens, for people coming outside the city into the city. So we'll go to questions. I left Mr. Lennon answer what was mentioned last week because there was a lot of questions. So I'm glad you paid attention. You had your notes. So at the end of the day, and ideally, if council is comfortable, we can add the resolution. It's there. If not, we'll have to have a meeting next week to bring it to resolution in order to ensure to try to have something put forward for the bands, like you said, to lock in the funds.
Thank you.
So we do have questions. Conseiller Leblanc.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Merci, Monsieur Lennon. J'espère que ça va bien. Merci. Écoute, merci de ta présentation. La première des choses que j'aimerais te dire, c'est que je pense que je l'ai dit la semaine passée. Si je ne l'ai pas dit, je vais le dire aujourd'hui. Toujours été un supporter de Hospitality Days. Je serai toujours un supporter de Hospitality Days. Par exemple, j'ai toujours challengé dans mon rôle de conseiller. Je pense que c'est mon rôle aussi de s'assurer qu'on a toutes les informations nécessaires. Et c'est pour cette raison, j'apprécie grandement la présentation que tu as faite aujourd'hui. J'apprécie les corrections que tu as apportées. Je pense que c'est important. Je suis d'accord avec toi, c'est important. J'aurais aimé t'avoir ici la semaine dernière, honnêtement, pour pouvoir les poser, les questions. L'argent que, justement, tu as apporté en premier, que tu m'as Je pense que c'est moi qui l'avais mentionné, là, 180 000 quelque chose comme ça. Écoute, c'est ça qu'on a été dit, c'est qu'il avait resté ce montant-là. Ça fait que si tu serais assis à ma place, je pense que tu aurais, par curiosité, demandé la même chose. C'est, il est où ce montant-là? S'il n'existe pas, il n'existe pas. Je suis correct avec ça, je veux juste savoir. Pour ce qu'il en est en passant, j'ai aucun problème avec la résolution, Madame la mairesse. Le montant qu'on donnera, je suis prêt qu'on fasse le chèque le plus rapidement possible. Ils n'ont besoin. On a parlé de quelques affaires en passant pour le block party. Si tu as remarqué la semaine passée, c'est moi qui avait mentionné ça, que tu avais dit ça. Là. Et j'adore ton idée. Je pense que vous allez dans la bonne direction. Ça va être excellent pour la région et la communauté. Pour les headliners, je reviens encore à penser quand même, ça c'est agree to disagree, qu'un gros headliner a le plus de personnes que deux moins populaires.
Tu peux voir par les chiffres.
Oui, j'y crois que c'est plus la solution. Je comprends que c'est pas toujours facile à faire, par contre. C'est facile de dire assis ici, mais assis dans vos bottes, c'est totalement différent. Ça, je le sais. J'ai organisé des festivals dans ma carrière aussi. Dans ma vie, je sais que c'est pas facile, mais je dirais, et je le redis encore, s'il te plaît, essayez de penser à ça pour emmener plus de gens de l'extérieur et montrer notre belle ville, justement, qu'on a à supporter. À part de ça, le 3 jours ou 2 jours, moi, j'avais aucun problème en autant qu'on avait quelque chose qui remplaçait, qui est le block party. L'idée que tu as donnée, moi, je l'aime. Comme je t'ai dit, je reviens encore, vous allez dans la bonne direction. Et puis, pour ce qui en est, une autre chose que je suis bien d'accord avec, que je suis fier que tu l'as mentionné, je suis d'accord que les organismes communautaires doivent participer. C'est ça qu'ils font dans la région. Fait que je pense que c'est à être applaudi. Tu en as un justement assis derrière toi qui organise le horse pull, M. George Daly, et merci à lui et toute l'organisation. Je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de travail là-dedans. Tout le monde qui participe et qui aide, je les remercie toutes du fond du cœur. Ça fait que ça, je pense que c'est les points que moi j'avais emmenés, que je voulais clarifier. Je suis pas contre ton festival. Je pense qu'il n'y a personne ici qui voyait ça d'un œil négatif. Ce qu'on n'avait pas, c'est qu'on avait une demande d'argent et que, oui, on a toujours été dit que les 50 000 $ qu'on donnait, c'était temporaire, qu'après ça, ça allait revenir au montant du passé qui était environ 25 000 $. Ça fait qu'il faut comprendre qu'on pose des questions. C'est notre rôle en tant que conseiller, de s'assurer que les argents soient bien dépensés et c'est dépensé également et honnêtement. À part de ça, merci. J'ai hâte au prochain festival. Et non, ma femme m'a pas été trop raide sur moi de ne pas l'avoir mentionné. Mais je la mentionne, Rainbow's Edge, hein. Charline Cormier, tout de suite, OK? C'est pardonné.
Brownie points.
C'est ça. Merci, Bob. Je sais qu'il va y avoir d'autres questions, mais de la part de mes collègues.
Okay.
Councillor Hondas, I seen that you had pressed your button and
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for him to stop there. No, Mr. Lennon, thank you very much for coming in and clarifying about this. We had a nice conversation on the phone. This was never meant to be anything personal. We do have a job, as Councillor LeBlanc says, that we have to kind of. My question is, basically, you answered it. I was wondering why we were going on from like 3 nights to 2 nights, but if you can just clarify that a little bit. And I think what was brought up last week is we were worried about the schedule for this year, because all you really sent out was what the bands are. But I presume there's things going on all week, probably similar to what's in here now. So I think that was a kind of a question that wasn't clarified at the time. I think you will in a minute. But I really thank you very much for coming in and answering these questions. We had questions, and that's kind of our job as council to ask these questions. I think we brought up a lot of good points, and as you pointed out, there's some stuff that you can help us and for us to help you. So it was never anything personal. I was working this festival when it was downtown over at the King right Main Street there when the old Harper Kent building was. And I've grown from a bartender. I had president, and I have vice president, and I've past president now.
You know what
so
it's all about.
I know what it's all about, and I can understand. I can appreciate Councillor Anderson's comment about when we started. We were self-reliant. We were trying to make money every festival for the next festival. So the city really didn't get on board with any financial money until the tent went down. There was always that in kind. But when the tent went down, they did forward a loan to us that we paid back. Except for one payment, if Councillor...
we gave a forgivable
Yeah, I
loan.
think they forgave us the last payment of that particular loan, and from there on, then they had started with 20,000. I don't think the levy was in play at that time. I think the city did fork over the money, so it's not all levy. I just want to make that clarified. But we're here to work together, because like you said, what you read in that, we're here to beautify our city and have people come home. I still have people calling me even after the festival's not even finished yet. When's the dates for next year? Because we want to come home again. So, and yes, we're having a 40th anniversary. If you can believe that, 40 years since I graduated. So, and I'm still around. So, but we're looking forward. And that was one of the things that we discussed when we had our meeting. Is that, well, can we do it around something when there's people around? Because like you pointed out earlier, there are going to be people. BHS is having a 40th also, so it's going to be a good day for everybody to meet each other. So hats off to your committee. Still love to be involved somehow, some other. So
We'll get you in there.
Okay.
So a couple of things to answer your questions. One, there's a couple of choice words I would have for your age and stuff, but we're on camera, so I won't. The second part is that the schedule. We don't do the schedule till almost the last minute, and we're after impression printing to print it fast, because the schedule is changing all the time. And there's a lot of those activities. It's like today when I was talking to Scott, Scott said, does anybody contact you to tell you that we want to in for next year? Okay, there's one that comes in. So, and this happens all the time. There's like Assumption Academy, the lady came to see me, and for some reason I can never remember her name, but she came to see me like the week before. You know, can you do this and stuff? And we did everything we could to get it out there and announce. So the schedule is one of the things that it's a moving target, but a lot of the activities that are on last year's schedule are going to be back up there again because they're there. I think George has already got stuff going for another hospital. He's still quiet in the back, but that was pretty impressive. That was the first time I ever gone to one of those before, and like, you guys are nuts. That's all I can say. Put my hands close to those horses when they're deciding that they want to pull is not really the safest place in the world. I think you should be. But anyways, that's there. Did you have another question in there that I missed? I don't have a chance to rewind to see if there was another question in your stuff. But we did talk. You had one question that you said I hadn't answered, but we covered that over the phone. And I think that you're happy with the answer there, and it's not a conversation to have here, but it was taken care of in there. And if anybody else wants to have that conversation, we'll have it privately.
Okay. So we're lit up just about anywhere, so you're not going anywhere anytime soon,
Yeah.
Mr. Lennon. Hopefully
Okay.
you don't mind.
Okay.
So Councillor Hondas, I'll move on to Councillor Anderson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not against hospitality days, and if that's what I portrayed, my apologies. I'm not against it. I'm not against helping hospitality days, and I'll eat crow when it's served to me. Like if I get something wrong, I'll eat it for sure. One thing that I would suggest then going forward is your financial statements should be a little bit more up to date and precise. I know myself, there's expenses I did eat when it came to Coronation Park. Yes, some things were covered through our Coronation Park bank account, but there were things that I did eat, absolutely. And I know of other communities, or associations, that it was all out of pocket. So I wasn't just pulling that out of my pocket when I brought it up, because it is factual. And to Councillor Hondas and Councillor LeBlanc's points, it is our role as councillors to question things when we're giving out money. And to Councillor Honda's point, it's only been a few years that the tourism levy has been in play, where the money has been technically allocated out of the tourism monies. Prior to that, it came from taxpayers' dollars, and that's the fact of it. But I'm not against it. I just want a clarification. Like when I look at your financial statement, the only thing I see in your financial statements, unless I'm missing something, is in regards to the horse pull. Other than that, there's no other expenses indicated in your financial statement that there was any monies donated anywhere else.
Well, like I said, I seen it this afternoon about the same time as Amy Lynn was printing it. So there are stuff, and the numbers I gave you are numbers that we have on our spreadsheet that we've done.
But my point is that.
How accountants account for things, to me, is always a mystery. So we'll make sure that in the future that it's done. Nothing I can do about this one, other than telling us that the numbers are what they are, when I thought there was numbers we had a little bit more money in the bank than that.
And that's something else, like, and listen, I know this one talks, that one talks, there's rumors that there's this, like, I know what it's like, but, you know, like, we had heard $180,000 surplus. So it's going to be questioned. If this is what we're hearing, of course we're going to question it. I don't think we would be doing our job as counselors if we didn't question it. There was one other point I wanted to bring up, and now I'm having an Alzheimer's moment.
We could come back to you if you want.
Oh yeah, and I guess my biggest thing was that when we originally went to the $50,000, it was not meant to be a long-term thing. And the committee members at the time, the executive at the time, for I want to say 2 or 3 years, each year this is not meant to be long-term. It's just meant to help us get us over the hump, post-COVID, what have you. So that comes into play again. Well, that's why we're questioning why is it another $50,000 this year when this was meant to have been short-term. And previously, like, I went back and I asked our accountant this week, what have we given Hospitality Day since 2012? I asked her to go right back to 2012 so that we weren't pulling numbers out of the sky or assuming this is what we gave, or I'm not sure. I wanted to have factual numbers so that I knew what the level of commitment to hospitalities has been for the last 14 years.
So if I may respond to that, is that, you know, my fault, don't know, haven't been involved. Last year I was thrown into this, okay?
Right.
So I was always a participant, didn't really want to get in there till one city councilor showed up on my doorstep in October and asked me to get in because Hospitality Days was ending if I didn't volunteer. Mm-hmm. So the fact of knowing that other years that somebody had mentioned that this was going to be temporary and temporary and temporary, I didn't know that information. So in my mind, $50,000 has been there for the last 3
years.
3 years this time. So I'd be a bit stupid if I come in here and say, hey, listen, you've been given $50,000 for the last 3 years, and it looks like you've already set expectations of that. For me to come in and say, well, I'll just take 10, I'm not that dumb. I'm going to ask for the same amount as everybody else did, and I'll ask for the $50,000. If we don't get 50, we don't get 50. But I presented today the reasons why we should.
Okay. All right. Good.
I'm good. Yep.
Councillor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, well, thanks for your input on everything. Last week, when I made my comment, I was trying to salvage when Councillor Honda said, well, maybe we'll give 30, 35 or 32,000 plus the in-kind or whatever. I was inclined for that. Listening to everything that you had to say and with the report that you're given, I got no problem with the $50,000 because you're right, it's not tax dollar money. It's for tourism, and we should be using it for tourism, definitely. So I got no problem with that whatsoever. And I give you credit, like your predecessor, the years before, you got more than skin in the game, you got your own money in the game. And I do volunteer work in a few other places, and I gotta put money into it because we only meet every second week, and I can't, wait for somebody to write a check or something like that. So I gotta put my own money into it and wait for people to pay, but definitely not $60,000. So kudos for you for doing that, and kudos for Mike Doucette for doing that before you. So basically, everybody wants to see the festival keep on going. It's our festival, it's for our city, and I got no problem with bringing the resolution tonight for that. So.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Scarry.
Thank you, Bob, for coming out. I understand, if it appeared that I was trying to say something against the festival. It was not in any stretch of the imagination. There was just some information that had fallen on ears and just wanted a clarification. I realized that your heart, the committee's heart, the committee's soul, everything that they do, we've been there. We've done that. We went through a lot of heartbreak. We went through a lot of questions that get asked to you and those kinds of things. I do tip my hat to you and your committee, and definitely don't want to see anything happen to Bathurst Hospitality Days. It has taken a lot bigger direction, and we definitely thank you for seeing that. And by the sounds of things, it can be. I mean, the festival has always been one of the leading festivals. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as new ideas come in and new people become involved, of course, the budgets the budgets do increase, costs a lot more to do things, but full-heartedly behind you folks, 150%, 200%. Wasn't available last year to participate. We had our own celebration last year. My daughter got married in our backyard, so that was not quite as big as the festival to organize, but definitely was a lot of stuff that we weren't able to participate in the festival at all. But
Well, if
do
you would have
hopefully.
told us last year that was going on at the same time, we could have incorporated into the.
Well, I know, I had mentioned that, but my daughter was, she said, no, it's, thank you for that.
A bit much.
Yeah. But as Ricky said, I do hope that, I'd like to be able to be involved. Not quite sure exactly how much. This is sort of a heading into retirement year for me, and I know that means that there's a little bit more time available, but definitely want to be there to help Hospitality Days and voice my support. You guys do a fantastic job, and if anybody that's out there that's watching tonight that goes and has questions about it, become involved in it. Take some time, organize an event, get in touch with Hospitality Days Committee, be part of it, because once you walk in those shoes and once you do some of that stuff, there's a lot bigger appreciation for the work and dedication that's being done. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We have more questions, but one thing I think, Ms. Parker, what we can do is, with the policy and the changes that we've done, anything over 5,000 has to come in. We have certain dates. So the request went in before going into budget 2026. All the requests came in. And then when we brought it into committee of a whole, it's mostly to have a discussion. What we will do is, for next year, the request comes in December, but when we do bring Hospitality Days in to discuss during the committee of a whole, we'll make sure that you're there to answer any questions. And I do like the idea of a commitment, a long-term commitment. It's something that, maybe, as we know, election is coming up in the spring. We'll see who will be sitting all here at that time, and it could be something that can definitely be brought in as a request.
Well, it's just like Sistema, for instance.
Yes.
You've given it over a 5-year period. Somebody doesn't have to come back every year and present. It just happens and automatically happens. When it ends, then there's another presentation, and they can give a big report of what happened over the 5 years.
Yeah. And we'll make sure that, at the next time, reminder definitely to invite.
Okay.
Councillor Branch.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much for your presentation. And more importantly, thank you and the rest of the committee for all the work that you do. And like everyone else said, obviously I'm in favor of and support of Hospitality Days. When I look at your financials, I don't like the fact that there's a big debt due to Thermal Wood, right? Just like I don't like the fact that people like Dale and Chico had to go out of pocket to help pay for things, even though temporarily, right? So obviously, it would be nice if we were able to help get the festival to the point where it's sustainable and that doesn't have to occur. That being said, there's just one thing I want to touch on too about the hotel levy. I just want to point out, and this is not to argue or whatever, but just to point out, kind of like the other councillors said, like we have to do our due diligence. Yes, that's a hotel levy, but there are all kinds of things that we could put through the hotel levy, right? So at the end of the day, there's stuff that could go through the hotel levy that does come out of like capital or operating budget, right? So it does affect taxpayer dollars either directly or indirectly, right? So just wanted to be clear that that's not free and clear money that, at the end of the day, it does affect taxpayer money in one way, shape, or form. Another thing is, last week I'd mentioned that I'd like to see audited financial statements, and I would still like to see that at some point. Like you said, you started the year with 19,000 and change, right? But if I look at your balance sheet, it shows that the year ended with almost $42,000, right? So like
Yeah.
right there's a discrepancy. And like
Well, there's not,
Councillor
because-
Anderson said, there are other, numbers, like you were giving numbers and they all made sense. Your logic made sense, right? I would do the same thing in your shoes. Like somebody didn't charge us rent, they're struggling, I would make a donation, right, to help them with that. That's just community support, community building, right? Agree 100%. But sitting in this seat, like I would like to see audited financial statements at some point so we could have like a broader conversation.
Okay. Perfect.
And again, thank you very much.
And if I may, just comment on your part about, I'm not looking for any pat in the back or anything because Thorwood put money into the event. What I do recognize through that is that this event needs a bank. It needs somebody in the committee that's got, a viable business that's going to take care of those times when there's no money in the account. Like when we finished at the end of last year, there's a whole pile of checks coming out. We didn't have everything all sorted out and what we want. We hadn't got all the reconciliation done on the tickets, and there was bills that needed to be paid right away. So what do? You do it. But that's when I recognize that in these things, and that's when we're looking at what our succession plan is. Because I don't plan on being there, this year is it, and then after that, if anybody wants the job, they can have it. But the thing is that whoever gets in, there's inside that committee, there's always needs to be somebody that has money. The year before us, Mike Doucet, his business forked over some cash. And so, and Councillor Burnett, you brought that up in the meeting last week. But it's a requirement, I think.
Yeah,
It would be nice if it wasn't there, but there still has to be. It can't be a bunch of volunteers that, except for Councillor Willett that said that he is there and has got all kinds of money now that I know I'm going to go bang on his door. So thank you very much for sponsorship. Chico will be over to see you with the form. Appreciate it.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I hate to go by memory, but I think that's what your predecessor was getting at one of the last requests, right? The $50,000 was to help make it sustainable, so that wouldn't have to happen, right? Because I don't think it's right. Like, I think volunteers go way above and beyond just with the time they put in, right? Like, I volunteered and you donate and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're good enough to give freely of your time, like, you shouldn't also have to fund the event and then wait for months to get your money back, right? Like,
Yeah.
we should look for a way to make it sustainable so that doesn't have to happen. Because if you're doing that too, you're limiting your volunteers. You could have people that are really good volunteers that don't have the financial capacity to do it, so then they're not going to volunteer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if I can add, there's different factors, right? So the stage. So the first year with the past committee, they got the stage, they booked it early for the following year. When you guys came in, it was coming in late. So if they paid $50,000 for the stage, I see in your costs, you're like almost $123,000 because you had to get your stage from Montreal, and you had to get a second stage because the band did not want them on the same stage.
Yeah.
So you're automatically looking at $75,000 more just for that.
Yeah, and even this year, we've started negotiations ahead of time.
Yeah.
And talking about this stuff before, the stage has already been booked. So now we don't have to worry about bringing something in. There is one in New Brunswick, so we don't have to get one from Montreal. And going down to 3 bands per night rather than 4 doesn't require the additional stage. But then we come up with this crazy idea to do a river walk that's going to need 2 extra stages that we didn't have planned before. So we're probably back in the same boat again, more money for stages. But at the end of the day, it grows and it has a different aspect.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess since you left my mic on, I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay, go right ahead, and then I'll go to Councillor Anderson.
I'm sorry that you felt you were coming into a hostile environment, and if I any way contributed to that, I guess I better work on my delivery, because that sure is not my intent, right? Like a lot of times I ask my questions, and maybe I should think of the person on the other side of the question sometimes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councillor Anderson.
I just have two questions for you, and then I'll zip it.
Okay,
Do you remember offhand? So you're saying when you guys took over, the balance was 19,000-ish,
yes.
right? Was there any monies that came in after that that were received, grants, either provincial or federal grants that were received, the previous committee had applied for, but the monies only came in after you
That's
guys-
where a lot of the $181,000 came,
Right.
was
I'm
earmarked,
questioning it.
because the grants did not come in.
So you didn't receive any of those monies?
One of them we did, but we did, and I never really understood how that, because the discussions, they hired a,
Consult.
yeah, would it be consultant? Yeah, to go out and get money from a seniors event or seniors fund, and there was $25,000 that came. We got that in June of last year. And that was, they started the discussion with them for then, but I continued the discussions all the way through and went through the fall and went through the winter, and we got that money. But that was, I think, believed one of the dollar values that was associated with the previous year that never came in till our event was almost a fact or past that happened. But that was the only one. Okay?
Yep. Did
Yes.
you get the 25,000 from Tourism New Brunswick?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you got 25,000 from
Yeah.
Tourism New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all you received was 25,000 from Tourism New Brunswick?
I got 25,000 tourism, and that 25,000 that I told you that came from that federal seniors fund,
Okay,
and the 50 that came from you guys.
okay.
The rest of it was all dollars that Mr. Chico here banged on doors and pleaded with people to give him money. He said he was poor and unfed.
Said what?
He was poor and unfed.
He looks
Poorly.
poor and unfed.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right. Okay, so, Councillor Legacy. Well, I was waiting to see if you were going to pipe in.
That'll be short and sweet. I just want to say thank you to the committee for being here tonight and for all the work you guys are doing. Really looking forward to this year, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to Resolution 9.5, so I do want to discuss the amount in discussion now. And as we know, and after receiving the financials, we know that, they're 62,000, almost 63,000 in the red. There's a request on the table for $50,000. I know that there's been last week we talked about 30 to 35, they talked about 25. There's a request for 50 on the table. So I just want feedback from council. Are you comfortable with the 50? So Ms. Parker can add the resolution. And of course, Deputy Mayor Knowles, I will not get your feedback because when we get to the resolution, you'll be in conflict of interest. But are you comfortable with the 50,000? Okay. Are there any other amounts that is recommended? Councillor Branch?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm comfortable with the 50,000 because, like I say, I don't think money should be owed, right, to the volunteers. But again, I know there's going to be a new council next year, but I would recommend going forward audited financials.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Seems like we're okay with the 50,000. You can leave if you want, and
No, but I just-
or you can stick around.
Okay,
No more questions. You're good. You're off the hook. Thank you.
Perfect.
Listen, honestly, thank you to the committee. I've thanked the past committee in years past. Hospitality Days is one of those events that for me and my husband, we take vacation because that's where it's a time to gather with friends, family. Everybody comes down from I have so many cousins on my mother's side, and that's where I see them, is during hospitality days. So it's a beautiful event, and I'm really happy that we were able to come to. And we'll make sure that we arrange it differently for next year.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
Good.
For
Thank
my
you very much.
successor.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. On va y aller aux finances. Total des comptes fournisseurs pour le mois de décembre 2025. Accounts payable total for December 2025. Miss Parker.
I'm just going to put the screen up first.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
That the accounts payable totals, including payroll, for the month of December 2025 be approved as follows. Operating, $2,387,597. Capital, $1,257,286. For a total of $5,240,197.
All right, so I'll get a mover and a seconder, and then I'll go to Mr. Pettigrew, moved by Councillor Branch, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Mr. Pettigrew. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Worship. I'll just pull this closer as soon as I get here. Following is a summary of disbursements for both the operating and the capital funds for the month of December 2025. And the capital fund, Force One Automotive Inc. received a payment of $30,654 for police vehicle equipment. LCL Excavation 2006 Inc. received a payment of $1,093,780 for St. Anne Street upgrades. Roy Consultants Limited received a payment of $88,172 for consulting services on various projects. Sansom Equipment Limited received a payment of $40,121 for East Booster Station chlorinator replacement. Other various vendors received payments of $4,559 for expenses on various capital projects, for a total in the capital of $1,257,286. In the operating fund, company 679798 NB Inc. received a payment of $390,000 for an incentive under the Housing Accelerator Fund. JP Equipment Restoration Inc. received a payment of $24,278 for a vehicle frame reconstruction, which was on our white dump truck. Irving Energy received a payment of $59,313 for bulk diesel and fuel oil. NB Municipal Finance Corp. received a payment of $839,999 for repayments of debentures for long-term borrowing. NB Power received a payment of $235,412 for electricity. Soft Choice Canada Corp. received a payment for Office 365 licenses of $23,417. St. Isidore Asphalt received a payment of $28,600 for miscellaneous aggregates. Various vendor promoter settlements for a total of $98,697. Other recurring payments of $687,880 for a total in the operating of $2,387,597. Total payroll for 5 pay periods was $1,595,314 for a total in the month of December of $5,240,197. That is my report, Your Worship.
All right. Do we have any questions for Mr. Pettigrew? No? Well, I was waiting, Councillor Burnett. I knew, I was just waiting for you to press your button.
The 1 million question, LCL. I thought RH Burnett had that contract to do St. Anne. Is LCL also part of that organization, or how did that work, please?
They're two separate companies. LCL does St. Anne Street. RH Burnett does Shallur Street.
Shallur.
So they work together on doing that St. Anne?
Two different streets.
Two different streets, and they were both there.
Yep.
Okay, I saw the trucks there, and I was wondering, thank you.
You're welcome. What I will say is $235,000 for 1 month power bill.
Yeah, unreal.
My husband and I, it's just my husband and I, and you should see what we pay, and I have a heat pump. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Something has to be done. It doesn't make any sense.
People are hurting. People are hurting with that.
People are absolutely hurting with that. So we'll go to the question. All those in favor, did you have a question? Oh, okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Okay. So, draft resolution. Les Jeux de l'Acadie 2028 Games. Ms. Parker.
Whereas the City of Bathurst possesses the facilities, resources, and organizational capacity required to successfully host the Jeux de l'Acadie, and whereas a call for candidates has been issued for communities interested in hosting the 2028 Jeux de l'Acadie, be it resolved that the Council supports submitting the City of Bathurst as a candidate to host the Jeux de l'Acadie in 2028.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Hondas, seconded by Deputy Mayor Knowles. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. I really hope that we get chosen this year. J'espère vraiment qu'on va être choisi. Parce que c'est la troisième fois en ligne, 3 années en ligne qu'on applique. Fait, on se croise les doigts. Mais imaginez si on aurait les Jeux de l'Acadie en 2028, puis on a le Congrès mondial en 2029. Là, on parle de tourisme. Un temps très spécial. On va se croiser les doigts. Oui, I already got the vote. I'm good. I started talking and I got lost, I see. Bon, on va y aller à 9.2, appointment freeman of the city. Ms. Parker.
That Mrs. Claire Wilt and Mr. Cletus Boucher be appointed as freemen of the City of Bathurst, and that this honor be formally recognized during a special ceremony to be held at a date, time, and location to be determined.
All right, I'll need a mover. Councillor Bryant, seconded by Councillor Willett. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations to Claire Wilt and Cletus Boucher. There's a committee that's put in place, and I think, Councillor Anderson, you already met with City Clerk, so we're planning something really nice this spring, and we'll follow up with you. Very well deserved, absolutely. 9.3, lease renewal for Promenade Waterfront. We forgot one last week, so we're adding another one, or 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
Ms.
thank you,
Parker.
Mr. Burnett, or Councillor Burnett, who's brought it up. That the lease at the Promenade Waterfront for the following business be renewed for 2026, Monty's Pretzelria, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign all related documents on behalf of the city.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Legacy, seconded by Councillor Scary. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. On s'en va à 9.4, expansion de la zone d'amélioration des affaires, Business Improvement Area Expansion. Ms. Parker.
Whereas the Council of the City of Bathurst has received a petition requesting the expansion of the Business Improvement Area, BIA, pursuant to the Business Improvement Areas Act, and whereas administration has reviewed the petition and determined that it satisfies the requirements of the Act, be it resolved that 1. Council hereby accepts the petition to expand the BIA, 2. The city clerk, acting on behalf of the council, shall ensure that a public notice of the proposed BIA expansion, in accordance with the Business Improvement Areas Act, is published in a newspaper with general circulation within the municipality, specifying the contents of the proposed bylaw, as well as the date, time, and location when the objections to the bylaw may be presented. And 3, a bylaw shall be drafted to give effect to the proposed expansion of the business improvement area.
All right, I'll need a mover and a seconder. Councillor LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Branch. Ready for the question? Oh, Councillor Burnett.
Mayor, the businesses that are already located in the expanded area, will they be getting notified at the door?
Yes.
Or will it be just in the?
Well, they've, as the presentation that we got from Mr. Terrio, they've already notified all of them. Everybody was already notified. Letters were sent 3 times, and they had a meeting, and there was no objections.
Thank you.
Right?
I missed that point.
Nope, that's okay. But there's a lot going on this evening, so it happens. All right, so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 2026 grants distribution. Deputy Mayor Knowles.
Not yet.
Not yet? We can, okay, we're going to do one at a time, and then we'll add just one?
Yeah, so because there was different discussions that were had, different meetings, there's different resolutions. So we'll do the first couple of resolutions, then we'll ask Deputy Mayor Knowles to step out.
Okay, all right.
That the grant distribution be approved as discussed by Council at the Committee of the Whole meeting held January 12, 2026 as follows. $7,000 to the Bathurst Art Society, $5,000 to the Victoria Park Enhancement Committee, $12,480 annually for 4 years to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation for a total commitment of $49,920.
All right, I'll need someone, Councillor Hondas, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. All right, Councillor Anderson.
Just thank you, Your Worship. Just a point of clarification. When we discussed the the education, the Medical Education Foundation one, we talked about how it was 12,400 depending on the school. So is there a mechanism we can put in place to ensure that if it's not because of a certain school that it's gone up, that it's the 10,000 that we originally were paying?
So we approve the whole amount, so it'll be put aside in case it's that whole amount, but in the letter that is given to the organization, we will specify that we would like to know, because they do send us an invoice for
Okay.
it, so we will know how much it actually is.
Okay, perfect, great, thank you.
Perfect. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That the grant distribution be
This one, we're good, we're still good to keep going?
be approved as discussed by council at the Committee of the Whole meeting held January 12, 2026 as follows. $19,500 to the Bathurst Heritage Museum.
Oh, all right. Need someone to move. Councillor Legacy, seconded by Councillor Hondas. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
We're still good.
Okay.
That the grant
No win.
distribution be approved as discussed by council at the regular public meeting held December 15th, 2025 as follows. $5,000 to the Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Willett, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. That's going to be another nice project that we're going to have this summer at the Canada Maple Leaf at the Canada 150 Park.
Okay. Now I'll ask Deputy Mayor Knowles to step out.
No, you don't have to. No. No, it's just he can't vote. He declared himself in conflict of interest.
I don't know if we want to close the door.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There.
Thank you. That the grant distribution be approved as discussed by council at the regular public meeting held January 19th, 2026 as follows. $50,000 to the Bathurst Festival Commission.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Honda, seconded by Councillor Scary. Ready for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we can get Deputy Mayor Knowles to come back. A lot quicker than last week. I know. It's true. Yeah, exactly. Yes. OK. On va aller à la proclamation reconnaissant le 60e anniversaire de la ville de Bathurst. Proclamation recognizing the 60th anniversary of the city of Bathurst. Ms. Parker.
Whereas the city of Bathurst was officially incorporated as a city in 1966, and whereas 2026 marks the 60th anniversary of the incorporation of the city of Bathurst, and whereas this significant milestone provides an opportunity to reflect upon Bathurst's rich history, cultural heritage, and the many other contributions of its residents, community organizations, businesses, and leaders who have helped shape the city over the past 6 decades, and whereas the 60th anniversary is an occasion to celebrate Bathurst's growth, resilience, and ongoing commitment to serving its community and building a vibrant and inclusive future for generations to come. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Bathurst hereby proclaims the year 2026 as the 60th anniversary of the City of Bathurst and encourages all residents to join in recognizing and celebrating this important milestone.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Branch, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Ready for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So we will be doing something special for the 60th anniversary, but right now we're in the process, City of Bathurst is in the process of rebranding. And we're actually going to get our presentation this week with the committee on the logo and whatnot. So, sorry. Too late. Anyway, so we're working on it. So we will have something special for the 60th, but it's exciting to say that we're talking about our rebranding and our logo. So, saying it, people need to know. Yeah. It's not a secret. I've been bugging him to try to just send it to me so I can take a look at it. No. So what's great about it is that the committees, everybody that was involved, the focus group, everybody that was involved, are involved in the whole phase as we're moving forward. So, which is, okay. 9.7, Ms. Parker.
Appointment to the Economic Development Advisory Committee. that Bob Lennon, Brad McClellan, Carol Caron, Grant Erb, Michael Petrovici, and Erica Lynn Scott be appointed to the Economic Development Advisory Committee for a first term, with the term duration to be in accordance with Policy P 2025-03 Committee Policy.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Hondas, seconded by Councillor Legacy. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Oppose? Motion carried. So this is exciting. We have an actual economic committee put in place. It's going to be very structured, completely changed. Meetings will be held here in Chambers Council. So it's exciting. So we're moving forward. We're making more changes as we go. All right. Do we have any reports from administration?
There are no reports from administration or from committees.
Okay. So I'll go quickly. Ça a été un mois de janvier, une nouvelle année où ce qu'on arrive, puis il y a tellement des beaux projets, puis des beaux dossiers qui sont concrétisés. Puis on est tellement contents. Les employés de la ville, le conseil, le maire, c'est des projets dont on a travaillé des années, on a même travaillé des mois. So 2026, starting into a new year, has been quite exciting. There's a lot of projects that we've been working on for a few years and some that we all jumped in to help each other out. And I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the good stuff that we've had so far in January, which is exciting. So we'll start with the Bathurst Airport. Prop Air will be coming starting January 31st. Flights 7 days a week. By March, I think we're going to 14 flights. And they are open to offer even more flights, even 3 flights if need be. A lot of people have reached out to me saying that they've booked a flight. And actually, our minister, our local MLA minister, Legacy, booked one the week of March break. So he's going to Montreal, and he's going to Montreal for $367 tax in. That's cheap. Considering what we were paying with Air Canada to be able to go and come back. You know, we were almost double, if not 3 times the amount Moncton was paying to go to Montreal than we were paying. So I would ask everybody to please support the Bathurst Airport. Je demanderais à tout le monde de, s'il vous plaît, prendre le temps. Supportons l'aéroport de Bathurst, surtout que les prix sont tellement réduits. Et j'aimerais prendre le temps de remercier le conseil d'administration de l'aéroport, M. Shaquille, qui a été embauché de faire le travail, le gouvernement fédéral, le gouvernement provincial, la CSA Péninsule et les maires dans la péninsule, CSA Chaleur et Belle-Baie, Bathurst, Belle-Dune. Tout le monde s'est rallié quand on a entendu parler de la fermeture. Et on a travaillé et la ville a investi 360 000 pour s'assurer qu'on ne fermait pas l'aéroport jusqu'à ce qu'on était en mesure de trouver une compagnie aérienne. Puis on s'est rendu là. So I want to thank everybody that was part of this. We worked really hard. We collaborated very well together. And it's a file that we can say we did it together. And the Bathurst Airport is going to continue, which a lot more flights. Great one. Last Friday, the Chaleur Lightning had their hockey game. And Mr. Shannon took the time to recognize the Alpine papermakers. They won the Nationals way back in 1971 and invited all of them to be there, and most of them were there. And it was a beautiful evening to see these people, the smile and the pride that, never forgotten and always remembered. And it was a great evening, and especially to see them to go on the ice with everybody else. Thank you to the Chaleur Lightning, and thank you to Mr. Shannon and the city, because, there was a little bite to eat for everybody and whatnot. So it was a great evening, and they did a wonderful job, and it says a lot for where they're going. And there's another event, I think, that's going to be coming soon with the Chaleur Lightning. On another note, Flex Go started today, so our public transportation. Ça a tellement été un gros succès. C'est un travail qu'on a travaillé depuis plusieurs années sur ce dossier-là, d'essayer de réaliser et de voir qu'on travaille en partenariat avec la péninsule à Edmundston, mais pas la péninsule, la CSA Edmundston sans réinventer la roue, on a fait un partenariat avec eux, dont ça a été un gros succès. Quite a few of us were on the bus today. We were able to try it out, and there's seat belts on the bus, and it's very, very comfortable. And for the price, we really can't go wrong. It's something that is very affordable for our citizens. I did a post today, and I've seen so many questions on it, and I'm trying to answer as many, but I had a really, really busy day. But what I did want to say, qu'est-ce que j'aimerais vous dire, c'est que il y a un numéro de téléphone. Si vous allez sur le site, il y a un numéro de téléphone, mais c'est le 1-866-355-3539. So the phone number is 866-355-3539. And a lot of people are saying, well, am I in the city limits of Bathurst? Can you come? Are you coming to my home? We're going to try to have some sort of map, but if you're not sure that you are part of the new city limits because of the reform, you can call the toll-free number, give your address, and they'll let you know. So I think it's going to be a high need. Before 9 a.m. this morning, they had already had 58 users. Before 9 a.m. No, yeah, and we didn't count part of the users. We were not the actual users. 58 users before 9 a.m. Yeah, first day. First day. And we were short a bus. We have a bus coming in tomorrow. We have another bus coming in tomorrow. It's going to be ready, but the demand is there. I think. Awesome. Oh, it's. I'm telling you, it's. A lot of people are happy. It's been one of those we did it moment, and I think that our citizens are really, they're truly appreciative. So great job. Thank you, Council, for approving this in the budget. And we didn't give up and we made it happen, and it's for our citizens. Encore une bonne nouvelle. Je ne peux pas vous donner les détails, mais je veux juste vous aviser que j'ai été invitée pour une annonce demain au CCNB. Le PDG, Pierre Zundel, a une annonce importante pour le campus du CCNB à Bathurst. Et la première ministre, Susan Holt, et l'honorable Jean-Claude Damour, ministre de l'Éducation postsecondaire, de la formation du travail, sera là. C'est une annonce demain après-midi. Et j'ai tellement hâte de voir exactement qu'est-ce qu'ils vont nous annoncer. Mais je suis certaine que c'est des bonnes nouvelles encore une fois. Now this one, I'm going to read it because I think it's important for citizens, and I'll try to share it on my mayor's Facebook page. We got this at press conference today, and I sent it to council, but Guardian Tank. So Gérard Beaulieu Inc. announces the acquisition of a new facility in Bathurst and a major expansion of its production capacity. Saint-Quentin, New Brunswick, a company specializing in the design and manufacturing of robust, safe, and durable solution for fuel transportation and storage, is proud to announce the acquisition of a manufacturing facility located at 2516 Middle River Road in Bathurst. So the strategic expansion aims to meet growing demands and support the company's 2026 mission while driving economic growth. So the well-established company is in Saint-Quentin. It's going to be a job creation. Approximately 40 new positions will be created, including key roles such as plant manager, production supervisor, millwright, quality controller, and welders. This project is also going to generate positive economic spillovers through collaboration with local partners and suppliers, thereby strengthening the regional economic fabric. They are hiring right now. I will post it on Facebook, but I will mention exactly. So they plan on opening in this spring. They plan on opening, and I just want to get the email. I'm reading this quickly. Okay. I know I have it here. I've seen it. Mr. Pettigrew, I think I'm blind. Okay. Okay, so if you're interested in applying, it's www.guardiantanks.com. So GUARDIAN as in Nancy, TAN as in Nancy, KS.com. There's a French link and an English link, and just go under employment or emploi. This is great. Manufacturing company coming to Bathurst and everything else that we've been doing in other businesses. So it's another positive story for our region. So it's a good start to 2026. We'll go to all the housing that we are doing. Oh, here, I'll give you the mic, Councillor. Oh, nope, sorry, I gave it to the wrong Stephen. All right.
That's really great news for all the developers are putting up all these new apartments and some of them close to there. And that means we have homes for these people that want to come in and apply for the jobs. So all around, good news, you know. So those that were trying to get into those apartments better get going.
Get going. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
you know, and just before the holidays, and I mentioned that, you know, we have a developer from Toronto that came down in November and coming back in February. He's extremely interested. He met with other business people in the community and with our economic development team. So there's a lot happening. So it's all positive for the city and for us. So great job, everyone. Yeah. We'll go to the adjournment of the meeting.
That the regular public meeting be adjourned at 8:20 p.m.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Honda, seconded by Councillor Legacy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Have a good evening, everyone. Merci d'être avec nous ce soir. Et je vais placer l'annonce sur ma page. Bonne soirée.